Hello, and welcome to the Good Girls Get Rich podcast. I'm your host, Karen Yankovich. This is episode 298, and it has been a week. I'm recording this just after the U.S. election, and it's been a week. And am I right? If you are, here's the deal. This episode is not about politics. This episode is about how I am looking at moving forward in my life and business on the backside of November 4th, 2024. And while I have said a couple of times, this is not really about politics, I don't really shy away from that either, because I think it's important. I think the days of, I don't talk about politics or religion are over. I think people want to do business with people who have aligned values with them. I am that way as well. And I think that if you're looking for people to hire, or if you're looking for people to hire you, it's important they know what your values are so that they know if it's aligned with them. And I'll put in the show notes a link to a LinkedIn Live that I did a couple of weeks ago. Actually, it was the day of the election. It was November 4th with some colleagues. I've been doing a weekly Entrepreneurs Unfiltered show, which has been so much fun with Jess Sato, Deb Boulanger, and Renee Hughes. And we've been live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. You should come join us on LinkedIn for one of those. And we had a conversation about this, about how we feel, and we were in agreement on this, that it's important that when you have values that are important to you, it's possible that those values are going to be important to the people that want to work with you. And also, you want to know that the people you are working with, that you're investing with, have similar values. And it doesn't mean similar beliefs. This is not about policy, right? This is not about policy. You may be more conservative than me. I may be more conservative than you, right? It doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's about human decency, I think, right? It's about human decency. And we don't really know what the future looks like for people in the United States. We know that a lot of our immigrants are worried about what their lives are going to look like. A lot of women are worried about what their lives are going to look like. Are we going to be able to get vaccines? Are we going to be able to have the kind of medical care we need? I don't know. And this is not about that. But what this is about is, what can you do, right? So, we heard even after the last election, Mr. Rogers says, look for the helpers, right? How do you be a helper? I've kind of gone radio silent because I didn't even know how to be a helper. I don't know how to do anything. Like, I'm still a little shell shocked, right? So what I did right after the election was kind of hibernate a little bit, right? I just needed to process it. I needed to see kind of like where and how I was going to move forward on the other side of this. My immediate instinct was, let's just close the blinds for 4 years and wake up in 2028 or 2029. And I run a very visible business, right? I teach visibility. So how do I come to terms with that? And am I concerned about that? I don't, at this moment in time, I'm not. Maybe that'll change, right? Maybe that'll change. Maybe I need to not be so visible. Today, that's not changing. And I'm not recommending that you change anything today either. Honestly, I'm not recommending anything. You need to come out to where you need to make decisions for what feels right for you. But I do want to talk a little bit about what I think. And there's a few things that I think. So after having some quiet time after the election, and then having the weekend where I really just took a more quiet time, actually, things started to come a little bit into focus for me. And all I'm really concerned about now is, what's my next step, right? Not necessarily what are the next 4 years going to look like, but what's the next step? And I really am being intentional about not reacting, not being reactive, not overreacting or anything like that, just being conscious, making conscious steps in whatever direction it is I want to move in. And there's a few things that kind of became clear for me over the weekend. And this was the weekend right after the election. So this is going live a few weeks after this, right? One is, I'm seeing this mass exodus of Twitter. I've not left Twitter yet. Maybe by the time this goes live, I will have. But, I have 100,000 Twitter followers. That's a big following to walk away from, right? And I get it. I get that I have to think about my values and what's important to me, and not supporting people that I don't want to support. That being said, right now, my concern is, what's the best thing for Karen? What's the best things for Karen's family and friends and clients, right? So I haven't made a decision about that yet. There's also, even Facebook /Instagram /Threads is become a little bit like, what's going on. Now, keep in mind, both of these platforms are owned by billionaire men, right? Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. What I want to know is, where are the billionaire women? And I'm not calling out the billionaire women, because I know there's billionaire women out there. I'm not calling you out for not showing up for this. I'm saying if anything has become clear to me in the last few days, it's that my commitment to helping more women have more money has just doubled down, maybe tripled down or quadrupled down, right? Nothing will help us get through whatever it is we want to get through, wherever you land on all of this. More money helps everything. And I'm talking about cash, right? I know like investments maybe have gone up and your investment accounts have gone up, and who knows what that's going to continue or not, right? I'm talking about cash. I'm talking about profit in your business. I'm talking about cash in your bank, gold bars in your safe, whatever that looks like for you, right? I'm talking about cash. I want more women to make more money. And the other thing that I got clear on as I was kind of processing all these social media sites and where I want to land is, there's no mass exodus of LinkedIn yet, right? Because LinkedIn is not in that same position. The owners of LinkedIn are not making political decisions, at least not to the extent that the owners of Facebook and Twitter did. So I think that, again, doubling down and tripling down on my commitment to help you have a better and stronger LinkedIn presence, help you build better relationships on LinkedIn, help you build a strong network of people using LinkedIn as the backbone, it's even more important. It's even more important. And the beautiful thing about LinkedIn is, when I talk about building relationships on LinkedIn, I'm talking about it. When you reach out to somebody from LinkedIn, you're reaching out with the strength of your profile. When you reach out on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or even via email or telephone, you don't have that same strength, because you're not, even though you might have a little bit of a profile in those places, you don't have a place where you can showcase all of your achievements, which you can do on LinkedIn. So we need to double down on this. Okay. We need to double down on this. And I am here for that. And I'm here for you to help you do that. Okay. Over the last few years, you might have noticed that I've infused a lot of publicity, PR, and strategy into the work that I'm doing on LinkedIn. The reason that I do that is it immediately gives you credibility. Now, I've mentioned I opened this episode with, it's important to me that you understand my values, so you can see if they're in alignment, to see if you even want to listen to this podcast anymore. Never mind, continue to work, move forward with working with me or my team or any of the stuff in our She's Linked Up programs, right? The same thing goes for this every step of the way, right? When you're connecting with people, you can see who they are. You can see who they're connecting with. I do not ask you your political affiliation before you work with me. I frankly don't care, right? And again, I'll put a note in the show notes about the episode, the panel that I did a couple of days ago, where we talked a lot about this. It is not about your politics that I care about. However, if I am helping you get more visible with a message that I am diametrically opposed to, I need to think about that. I need to think about what that means to me, right? And you need to think about the same thing. Why would you want to work with somebody who is diametrically opposed to the values you want to showcase, right? So that's why I think it's important that I'm not saying you should put on your LinkedIn profile, I'm a Republican or a Democrat. I'm not saying that at all, right? I have, a friend that I had a conversation with, and I said, this isn't about policy, this election, right? And we can disagree on policy. 10 years ago, we could have had a great debate on policy. This isn't that, right? And I firmly believe that. So it's not, I'm always up for the conversation, as long as I'm not feel like I'm talking to a brick wall, right? I am not trying to keep myself in a little blue bubble. I'm not doing that at all. I'm happy to have the conversation. I'm happy to have the conversation with you. So like I said, I'm not necessarily talking about politics. Politics is the impetus for this conversation, right? So we can't ignore the fact that politics are a big part of our life right now here in the US. So the first piece of this is, LinkedIn is the place to be, right? It just continues to be the place to be. It was the place to be during the pandemic, virtual networking. It is the place to be now as people are making mass exoduses from some of these other platforms, right? The other piece of this is, 9 months ago-ish, my team and I were looking at all of our names, and Rebecca Arbona is a previous client of mine, and I love her to death. And she challenged me at one point, and she's like, her business, by the way, is helping you with names and your brand names. And she's like, Good Girls Get Rich, She's Linked Up, Karen Yankovich, Up Level Media. How many names do you have, Karen? I'm like, you're not wrong, right? You're not wrong. So So I think about this. And as I think about just the evolution of my business, I was thinking about like, what is the messaging behind all of this? So about 9 months ago, my team and I spent a lot of time on that. And we decided like, what is at the heart of what we do? And at the heart of what we do is we help primarily women, but men, if you feel aligned, you are welcome to my communities. We help women whose next chapter might look different than their last chapter, move into that chapter powerfully and profitably. Okay. The tools we use to help them do that are LinkedIn and PR. And I think what's important is these are often not people that just graduated high school, graduated college. They've got years of expertise, right? They've been doing this a long time. So they're not reinventing themselves, but maybe they're reigniting something in this next chapter. Sometimes the next chapter is it's time to just make some more money, right? Maybe it's not about just, I was in corporate, now I'm a consultant, right? Like, but most of the people I work with are leaving something behind and stepping into something new. And we want them to do that very quickly and very powerfully. If you're a coach for the first time in your life, you don't have to start out at beginner price points because you've been doing this work for many years. And that's the message. That's the message behind everything we do. We want you to remember that if you're starting bottom up and you start with your low ticket offers, it's a long way to profit versus immediately crafting high ticket offers, bringing in a strong personal brand, even if it's something that you're brand new to doing. You've been doing the work, right? You've just never had the title coach or consultant, right? And we help women craft this brand for themselves. And this is a brand they've had before, but we just package it for them and help them step into their next chapter. We help them determine what that looks like and determine where the money is and step into that immediate with a fast path to cash. Okay. That's what we do. So we went back and forth and we changed names so many times behind the scenes, right? And we landed on, and we renamed our Facebook group this 9 months ago, maybe, Reignite and Rise Up. Ding, 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 ding. I woke up Sunday morning going, oh, well, now I know why that name had to happen, because I feel like that's exactly what we as women need to do now. I didn't know that 9 months ago when we created the name, when we created the Facebook group. And if you're not a member of our Facebook group, you should be. Go to reigniteandriseup.com and I'll take you right to the Facebook group. Again, I've had all this for like 9 months. Now I know why, right? Now I know why those were the names that we used, because this is the chapter for us to step into that. Now, I don't know if we'll change anything else. Again, I am taking one step at a time with all of this. So step one for me is leaning into the Reignite and Rise Up brand. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, actually. Should I change the name of this podcast to Reignite and Rise Up? Maybe I should, right? I'm not making any rash decisions on this. We're going to take our time and make these decisions, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think the name of this podcast should change from Good Girls Get Rich to Reignite and Rise Up with Karen Yankovich or something like that? And the other thing that I'm doing, and you're welcome to join me for this, is in that Facebook group. And we're going to continue to have our free community in Facebook just because it's the best choice for us right now. Maybe that will change too, but right now it's still in Facebook. At the time that we're recording this, it's still in Facebook. If you go to Reignite and Rise Up at any time you're listening to this, it'll take you wherever it is, but right now it's still in Facebook. I'm going to be doing daily lives there, 8:30 a.m. Because I think we need community now more than ever. And these are things that I can do. When I think about what can I do? Sure, there's other things I could do. I can donate money. I can volunteer. I can get involved in local elections for the midterms. There's a lot of things I can do. But what I do every day, day in and day out, is help more women make more money. And that to me is more important than any of those other things. So that's where I'm going to land right now. And that's why we're going to reinvest in that free community. And I invite you to join us there, where, how nothing is changing in our programs, by the way. We've rejiggered the way we deliver She's Linked Up. And I would love to talk to you about that if you haven't heard this. Grab a spot on my calendar, KarenYankovich.com/call, if you want to know what it looks like to work with us as you move into the new year, or wherever you're listening to this, right? None of that's going to change, because what we teach works. It's, really well done. We've tweaked it a million times. We're going to continue to tweak it as we need to. but maybe we'll change. Maybe the messaging, some of the messaging needs to change on the front end, and that's what I'm considering right now. And again, it starts with this free Facebook group, the Reignite and Rise Up community. So come join us over there if you are looking for like-minded business women who are looking to step into their next chapter with more impact, more influence, and more income. And I want this to be cash. I want you to be having more cash in your pocket, more money on the table. This is what we're good at. So as we move into 300 episodes of the Good Girls Get Rich podcast, this is 298, which is crazy. As we move into that, we're really going to just niche down even further into supporting you with your next chapter. We do this with the free Facebook group. In January, we're going to be doing another magnetic marketing workshop, which is also free. And you'll get information on that. If you join the free Facebook group, you get an option to join our email list. Or if you haven't taken the quiz yet, KarenYankovich.com/quiz, the marketing quiz, that will also get you on your email list. You'll get emails about this. And of course, I'll be talking about this in the free Facebook group and other places, but we're going to be doing a free marketing workshop the first week, the second, like the early January. I don't know exactly the date we're starting. But these are ways we can support you. But I believe, like when I created our She's Linked Up ecosystem that we're moving into 2024 with, there's multiple levels, right? We have a platinum level for people that want a lot of one-on-one with me. We have our mastermind level, our She's Linked Up Society, which is where you get deeper dives and it's a longer engagement, and we get to spend more time together. And then we have our She's Linked Up Accelerator program, which is our flagship program, which is the 12-week program. I believe that the magnetic marketing workshop is the first level, right? I feel it's built in my marketing matrices as a part of my other things. If you're listening to this, you are already in our She's Linked Up ecosystem and our She's Linked Up world, right? That's how I believe, and that's how I want you to feel. So that's why we do this podcast every week. That's why we're doing the free magnetic marketing training in early January. And that is why I'm going to now be doing daily, Monday through Friday, daily Facebook Lives in our Facebook group, the Reignite and Rise Up community. So come join us for any or all of those things. I'm here to help you rise up. And, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So help me help you. If this message resonated with you, please share this with your audience and your community. Make sure you tag me so that I know that you did, so that I can share your post with my audience and we can all get more visibility that way, right? And if there's a topic you want me to talk about, please let me know what that looks like. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Message me. Let me know what you think about all of this. Leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to this. I love your reviews because it helps me understand what the value is you're getting out of this, so I can do more of that. And let's dive deeper together, okay, as we move through this next chapter. Take care, and I will see you back here next week with another episode.